We are naturally drawn to the light. When we look at individuals who have reached the absolute pinnacle of their fields, we see the triumph, the stadium crowds, the ultimate public success. Take Serena Williams. She made over $84 million strictly in prize money during her career. That level of dominance is a highly visible, highly tangible metric of success. But she didn't get there because people simply declared her great. She was great because she didn't take any plays off. There is a common assumption that the absolute best, the greatest of all time, operate on a different frequency. We like to think they are blessed with infinite energy, innate greatness, or an endless supply of external validation. The reality is much colder. Discipline is a deliberate habit. It is not something someone's born with. This line graph maps out how our biological motivation actually behaves over time. It is a wildly volatile, unpredictable wave. If you wait to feel motivated, your energy will constantly crash well before you reach the threshold of true execution. As the saying goes, your whole life you've been going on feelings, and that's why you messed up. Relying on this unpredictable biological energy makes it impossible to perform under pressure. You can't just have energy when you got energy. If you rely on a fleeting feeling to get you through practice, you will inevitably collapse when the lights come on and the stakes are real. The real battleground exists in total isolation from the public stage. True accountability only exists when no one is cheering. It's about asking yourself, what are you doing in the dark when nobody's watching? When there is nobody breathing down your neck, do you work on yourself or do you mentally check out? Public victory is simply a lagging indicator. The true test of your identity and the exact predictor of your future success is completely determined by how you spend your time in isolation. It's what I did in the dark that blew me up. If we look at the raw statistical reality of the process, your biology is going to betray you. Out of 365 days, there are going to be days you don't feel like getting up. There will be days you don't want to review the data, hit the gym, or even get in the game. True discipline has absolutely nothing to do with how you feel. It is the strict, unyielding mechanism of executing a promised action, specifically when the desire to do it has vanished. If you want to reach the next level, you gotta do what you said you were going to do when you don't feel like doing it. The friction points in this process are intense. You will face overwhelming fatigue, a strong desire to quit, and the constant instinct to hit pause and put things off. Others before you have faced these exact same deficiencies and felt like giving in. Defeating that hesitation requires a hyper-aggressive response. You have to abandon the idea of the perfect moment. When you feel hesitation, get hyper-aggressive. Kick in that door and bust into that room. This creates a mechanical paradox. The physical act of starting is the exact trigger that destroys the hesitation. All you have to do to kill procrastination is just start. You just go and procrastination dies. Taking that first blind step forces your physiology to catch up. Your adrenaline starts flowing and it shifts your perspective. You stop looking at the work from the level of the obstacles in front of you and start seeing it from a higher vantage point. Action must precede energy. By deliberately tackling the work you hate, you artificially generate the momentum required to survive in the dark. This branching logic tree illustrates a simple reality. Absolutely everything you do is habit forming. The micro-choice to hit the snooze button builds a repeating loop of inaction, while the micro-choice to set your alarm and get out of bed immediately builds a sequence of momentum. Achieving greatness requires you to deliberately construct discipline habits that actively attack and defeat your baseline negative instincts. Top performers sustain this exact momentum by building literal architecture around themselves. They construct physical and mental barriers to eliminate most of the things that take my focus and discipline away. By completely isolating their focus, they free up the massive bandwidth needed to operate. They engineer a state where they are wired with incredible energy to innovate, think, and remain deeply present in the work. They also put actual skin in the game. They intentionally engineer scenarios where failure carries catastrophic consequences, scenarios where, if the execution doesn't happen, you lose everything. Removing your safety net destroys the luxury of hesitation. Because you literally cannot afford to lose everything, you force yourself to make things happen with the resources you possess right now. Discipline is not a genetic trait. It is a meticulously constructed, highly protected environment, explicitly designed to make quitting impossible. This isolated, unseen work, the dark hours at 3 or 4 in the morning, directly purchases your right to stand under the public eye. You can only dominate in the light because you have already dominated in the dark. The rule of consequence is incredibly strict. If you dare to stop settling for average and give 120, giving 120% effort is difficult, but pushing past the fatigue is the absolute prerequisite to claiming your own success before this short window of opportunity closes forever. Because if you get 120, it feels good knowing that I won my own life.